Everburning Lamps, have you heard of those? Like, imagine, right, you finally get into this ancient tomb and nobody's been inside for centuries, and then boom, you see a lamp and it's just burning away as if nothing's changed. Crazy, right? We're getting into all that today, diving into those stories about ever-burning lamps, all the historical details and mysteries and all.
And it's a topic that has fascinated, well, everyone really, from historians to, scientists and even secret societies. Think Rosicrucians. For centuries, people have been trying to figure these things out.
Rosicrucians. Okay, now you're speaking my language. Secret societies, lost knowledge. I am so here for this. What kind of stuff are we talking about, though? Where do we even start?
Well, we're going old school for this deep dive.
Yeah.
Using a text from the 19th century by a Rosicrucian, William Wescott. It's amazing, really. He found over 170 sources that talk about these lamps across all different cultures and times.
Hold on, 170? That's a lot of mentions. You don't get that kind of widespread belief without something behind it, right? So where are the really juicy stories, the ones that just grab you?
Oh, there's some wild ones. One that comes to mind is about a lamp found in the tomb of Tulliola, Cicero's daughter.
Cicero, yeah, the Roman orator.
That's the one. So imagine he loses his daughter, right? It's a tragedy. And then, over 1,550 years later, they open her tomb, and what do they find? A lamp still burning. Can you imagine?
I'd be speechless. Seriously, that's the kind of story that gets stuck in your head. It makes you wonder, why were people so obsessed with these lamps? I mean, yeah, light is important, but there's something more to it, right? Some deeper meaning.
Absolutely. Wescott makes this really interesting point about ever-burning lamps and, well, the human desire for eternal life. The lamp with its flame that never goes out, it becomes this powerful symbol, this beacon of hope against death, especially in ancient Egypt. For them, the lamp was practically synonymous with life itself.
So for the Egyptians, it wasn't just about lighting up a tomb. It was more like keeping a part of the person alive.
Exactly. And it taps into this universal thing, right? Humans, we have this drive to fight back the darkness, both literally and figuratively. Those lamps, they're like a victory for knowledge over ignorance, for life over death. It's powerful stuff.
It really is. And it makes you think, are we talking science here or spirituality? Or maybe a bit of both. It's hard to say.
That's what's so great about Wescott. He tackles both sides of the coin. On one hand, he's all about the possible scientific explanations,
How could a lamp possibly burn for centuries without, running out of fuel? That doesn't seem possible.
Well, one idea involves asbestos wicks. They're different, see? Normal wicks burn away, but asbestos, it doesn't really burn. It could keep a flame going for ages and wouldn't get used up.
Okay, but even then you still need something to burn, right?
Uh-huh.
Like oil. Would they have had enough to last centuries?
Right, and that's where it gets even more interesting. Wescott brings up these air-activated substances. Like, imagine an oil that bursts into flames when air hits it.
So you're telling me opening that tomb after centuries could have been what lit the lamp? That's amazing.
It is, isn't it? It'd be like witnessing a miracle, seeing those lamps come to life after all that time. It makes you wonder what those people must have thought.
Totally. But of course, some people always want more than just science. They want the extraordinary. I bet the alchemists had a field day with these ever-burning lamps.
Oh, absolutely. Wescott gets into some of their theories, and let me tell you, there's something else. They believed in all these special formulas and substances, especially gold, that could create an eternal flame.
Classic alchemists, always chasing after gold. It's like the ever-burning lamp was the perfect symbol for their whole deal, turning something ordinary into something, well, eternal.
Exactly. It wasn't just about light for them. It was about transformation, about reaching a higher state of being, like spiritual enlightenment.
It's incredible. It's like every time you think you've got a handle on this mystery, it just keeps getting deeper and more complex. It's like a puzzle box, but instead of wood and metal, it's history, science, and spirituality all mixed together.
And that's what makes it so fascinating. But we've only scratched the surface. Wescott also talks about this incredible account of a moving statue and a lamp that could put itself out.
Okay, now you've got my attention. Moving statue. We're not talking night at the museum here, are we? Tell me more.
Just picture this. A secret chamber deep inside some ancient ruin, and the only light comes from this lone, flickering lamp. Deep inside some ancient ruin, and the only light comes from this lone, flickering lamp.
Okay, I'm there. It's like something straight out of Indiana Jones.
But here's the thing, right? This is no ordinary lamp. This one's hooked up to a statue.
A statue? Like it comes alive? Did we accidentally wander into a Greek myth or something?
Quite a myth, but definitely a marvel. See, this statue wasn't built to, move on its own. but it was meant to protect the tomb's secrets.
Now, how's a statue going to protect anything besides scaring off a few pigeons?
Well, according to Wescott, the floor of the chamber was rigged, like a giant pressure plate.
One of those things you step on and boom, something happens.
You got it. So picture this. Some treasure hunter stumbles in, eyes on that glowing lamp.
Classic treasure hunter move.
Right. And they take one step too many, hit that plate, and don't leave me hanging.
The statue, it springs into action. Not by magic, though. This was pure ancient ingenuity at work. The whole thing was designed to knock out the lamp, plunge the chamber into darkness.
Talk about an ancient security system. So it wasn't about, like, hurting the intruder, but more about protecting the secrets. Right.
Exactly. The lamp, in this case, was more than just a light source. It was a critical part of this whole elaborate setup.
Okay, but how does the statue even put out a lamp? Did it, like, blow on it really hard?
Well, the exact method, that's still a bit of a mystery. But if you think about it, maybe the lamp was designed to be super sensitive to airflow. So the statue moves, air currents change, and boom, flame's gone. That's incredible. I mean, who'd have thought people back then could create something that complex?
It really makes you think twice about what those ancient civilizations were capable of. It's like, we call them simple lamps, but these were seriously clever intentions, right? They gave light and protected at the same time.
It's mind-blowing. Who knows what else is out there waiting to be found in those old tombs and temples? Makes you wonder.
And here's where it gets really interesting, at least for the Rosicrucians. This whole thing, the moving statue, the self-extinguishing lamp, it fed into their whole belief system, you know? Hidden knowledge, amazing technology from a time when humans could do things we can only dream of now.
Right. Those ever-burning lamps, for them, weren't just cool relics from the past. They were like proof. Proof that there's more to this world than meets the eye. That there's this whole hidden world of wonders and possibilities waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. And it ties into this idea that Wescott explores the concept of divine afflatus.
Okay, divine afflatus. Sounds intense. What's that all about? Divine afflatus. Okay, yeah, that sounds like something whispered in secret, like maybe it's a superpower or something, right?
You know, it kind of is, in a way. The Rosicrucians, they believe that some people, just some, had this hidden potential, like a spark of pure genius or inspiration that made them different, special.
So it wasn't for everyone. It was more like a gift, something you had to be born with.
Well, not exactly. They thought it was more like a potential you had to unlock, you know, through hard work, studying, and, well, connecting with something bigger than yourself. Think about people like Da Vinci or Hypatia of Alexandria. They were doing things no one else could even imagine.
Right, yeah, now I see the link to the lamps. They both, like, defy expectations. Like, there's no obvious fuel, no clear explanation, just incredible results.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
See, those lamps burning for centuries with no visible fuel source.
Right.
The Rosicrucians, they believed it was a similar thing with divine afflatus, like people tapping into a hidden wellspring of brilliance, you know?
So the lamps become a symbol of that potential, of what humans could achieve if we could just unlock that spark inside ourselves.
And it's not just a symbol, it's a challenge. The lamps, they remind us that there are still mysteries out there. In the world, sure, but also inside us, waiting to be discovered.
So where do we even start? If this divine afflatus is real, how do we find it? How do we make it work?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The Rosicrucians, they believed it all starts with being curious, with never taking things at face value, always questioning, always pushing yourself to learn and grow.
So it's not about finding some buried treasure, but unlocking something within ourselves.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe by digging into these old mysteries, these stories from the past, maybe, just maybe, we spark a little of that divine afflatus in ourselves.
Now, there's a thought to end on. And if you're listening out there and something sparked your curiosity, don't let it go. Dig into those questions. Explore those mysteries that grab you. You never know what you might find.
Who knows, you might even surprise yourself with what you're capable of.
Well said. And that's our deep dive into the world of ever-burning lamps, secret societies, and, well, that human need to push beyond our limits. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep that flame of curiosity burning bright.